DuPont innovation lowers LCOE by increasing cell efficiencies and system lifetime while reducing total system cost. Materials matter.
Hello and welcome to the PV Tech Newscast. As we move away from a transitional year and into a very exciting 2014, research predicts an enormous upturn for the global PV market. Indeed, over the holiday period, NPD Solarbuzz predicted an explosive growth of 49 gigawatts for the solar industry this year. Also this week, in the US, solar beat natural gas in a landmark judicial ruling. China cuts the cord on struggling solar manufacturers. SolarWorld lodges a new US trade case against Chinese PV companies. Polysilicon spot prices force wafer and cell ASPs higher, and Trina Solar develop a 1 gigawatt plant and module factory in China. The top story from the end of 2013 was NPD Solarbuzz's bullish forecast for the global market this year. According to the market research firm, the PV industry has reached a tipping point that will propel the sector to an unprecedented demand of 49 gigawatts in 2014. Finley Colville, Vice President at NPD Solarbuzz, said that the solar PV industry has reached a critical point, with end market demand hitting record levels almost every quarter. This growth is being driven by leading module suppliers and project developers returning to profitability last year. As far as NPD Solarbuzz is concerned, the continued cost reductions coupled to a major downstream move by Tier 1 manufacturers is creating its own demand dynamics through aggressive downstream sales. The momentum of gaining access to low-cost finance for PV projects via securitization and other financial vehicles could also be a key contribution to the expected growth this year. 22 gigawatts of installations are expected between October 2013 and March 2014. Now that's more than all installations between 2005 and 2009 globally, equivalent to one new 5 megawatt solar farm being completed every hour. More good news for the solar industry, specifically in America this time. An administrative judge in the state of Minnesota has ruled solar generation to be a better investment than natural gas for electric and natural gas utility Xcel Energy. The judgment is the first time in the US that unsubsidized solar energy has been officially ruled to be a better deal for ratepayers than natural gas. Administrative Judge Eric Lippman compared 5 energy resources to determine the most cost-efficient generation to meet forecast energy shortfalls. The competitive bidding of utility-scale generation projects was ordered by Minnesota's Public Utilities Commission to choose the most cost-effective projects to help Xcel reach an additional 150 megawatts of new capacity needed by 2017. A 100 megawatt PV project by Minnesota-based utility-scale wind and solar developer Geronimo Energy was chosen over the others. Solar was considered in comparison to a gas turbine at an existing plant in Mankato, proposed by Calpine, and 2 turbines at Cannon Falls and Hampton, proposed by Invenergy, as well as Xcel's own proposal for a gas plant. In his ruling, Lippman said the PV project was the best way for Xcel to meet its near-term needs. The Chinese government has excluded almost 80% of operating manufacturers, including Shunfeng and LDK Solar, from benefiting from domestic support measures as it looks to curb oversupply and increase the quality of its solar manufacturing sector. The Ministry of Industry and Information Technology received 500 applications for a list of approved companies that can continue to take part in state-run tenders and support mechanisms. An initial list of 134 companies was released in November, and after expert review, the final roster of 109 companies was published at the end of December. The criteria for inclusion on the list include minimum conversion factors for solar cells, minimum manufacturing capacity for polysilicon, ingot, wafer and rod producers, and environmental conditions. Companies not on the list will not be able to benefit from domestic policy support, take part in domestic tenders, or benefit from export tax rebates. The application process will be repeated every 6 months, giving companies time to upgrade their facilities and practices to meet the requirements. International manufacturer SolarWorld has launched a fresh petition to end what it claims are anti-competitive activities by Chinese and Taiwanese PV manufacturers in the US. The company, which has been the main agitator in previous American and European trade actions against China, said its latest petition was designed to close a loophole in trade duties on Chinese solar imports introduced by the US government in 2012. In a statement made on December 31st, SolarWorld said the apparent loophole allowed Chinese producers to evade around 31% of US duties by assembling modules from cells manufactured in third countries. The company said it had lodged anti-dumping and anti-subsidy cases with the US International Trade Commission and Department of Commerce, outlining how the dodge is allowing Chinese manufacturers to continue selling below production cost and to seize market share. The Solar Energy Industries Association, America's largest solar trade body, said it opposed SolarWorld's latest move against the Chinese. According to Energy Trend, a research division of TrendForce based in Taiwan, polysilicon spot prices are expected to test the $20 per kilogram mark for the first time in over 2 years in January this year. Tight supply for high-quality polysilicon used for high-efficiency multicrystalline wafers is expected to push ASPs higher, though overall price rises through to solar cells remain muted. Energy Trend noted that wafer manufacturers had also made price adjustments in the fourth quarter of 2013, with the expectation that ASPs in January would be 98 cents to $1.02 per piece. And finally, starting the new year with a bang, Chinese Tier 1 PV manufacturer Trina Solar has announced plans to develop a 1 gigawatt ground-mounted solar power plant in Xinjiang in western China. The company announced on December 30th that it signed an investment framework agreement with the local prefectural government of Turpan. Still subject to approval, the first 2 phases of the Xinjiang plant will total 300 megawatts and are scheduled for completion by the end of 2014. Approvals are required from the local government and from the state grid. The entire 1 gigawatt plant will take 4 years to build. Once approval for the first phase has been given, Trina Solar also plans to construct a module production facility near the plant to supply the project. And that's all for this week. We'll be settling into the year with a new edition of the Newscast out every Tuesday, and in the meantime you can keep up to date with all the very latest PV news via our website and our Twitter feed. Thanks for watching.